My name is Dr. Samashwak and today our topic is pathology of alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So what are the heading under this topic? These are definition, what are the normal function of alpha-1 antitrypsin, what is the pathogenesis of this disease, what is the morphological appearance, what are the clinical features of the patient that presents with this disease, how to diagnose and how to treat the patient. So now we will see the definition of this disease. This disease is defined as an autosomal recessive disorder which is characterized by low serum level of alpha-1 antitrypsin that is caused by mutations that leads to the formation of abnormal or misfolded form of alpha-1 antitrypsin. So we will found misfolded. Either there is deficiency in case of severe mutation there is a deficiency, and in case of mild mutation there are also misfolded form of alpha-1 antitrypsin. So this is the definition: low serum level of alpha-1 antitrypsin that is caused by mutation and there is presence of misfolded form of alpha-1 antitrypsin. What is the normal function of alpha-1 antitrypsin? Alpha-1 antitrypsin is synthesized from the liver, from the hepatocytes, and is then transported into the bloodstream. What is the function of alpha-1 antitrypsin? Whenever there is an inflammatory disease or infection of the alveolar wall. So you see, whenever there is inflammation or infection of the alveolar wall, there will be infiltration of the hepatocytes. Just imagine there are the infectious agents that are causing the inflammation of this alveolar wall. Okay, then there will be infiltration of neutrophils. Okay, and neutrophils release various type of enzyme and cytokines, one of which is proteinases, that is elastase. Okay, elastase attack these infectious agents. Okay, attack and destroy these infectious agents. In addition to attack these infectious agents, this elastase also act on the wall of the alveoli. It act on the wall of alveoli and destroy the elastin, which is responsible for the maintenance of elasticity of the alveolar wall. Okay, so elastase act and destroy these inflammatory or infectious agents and also attack the wall of alveoli on the elastin and destroy the elastin. So when there is deficiency, so what is the function of alpha-1 antitrypsin? It will bind and inhibit this elastase. Alpha-1 antitrypsin is synthesized from the liver, enter the bloodstream, it will bind and inhibit this elastase and prevents the destruction of the elastin present in the wall of alveoli. But whenever there is a deficiency of alpha-1 antitrypsin, the elastase is not inhibited and it continues to act and destroy the elastin present in the alveolar wall and leads to destruction of alveolar wall. When alveolar wall is destroyed, so it leads to emphysema. We will discuss emphysema in another lecture. Complete pathogenesis, clinical feature, everything about emphysema. In this case, there is a pan-acinar emphysema. So this is the normal function of alpha-1 antitrypsin, and when it is inhibited, when there is a deficiency, it will not inhibit elastase and there is a continuous destruction of the wall of alveoli. So this is the normal function of alpha-1 antitrypsin. Now we will see the pathogenesis of this disease. The gene that encodes for alpha-1 antitrypsin, serpin A1, serine protease inhibitor A1, is present on chromosome number 14. You have to memorize the concept that the allele that encodes for normal form of alpha 1 antitrypsin is PIM. Okay, it is for normal. Whereas PIZ polypeptide encodes for mutated or misfolded alpha 1 antitrypsin. And also you have to remember that PIM encodes for 50% of normal. When for what I am going to say that whenever there is PIM allele, the patient has 50% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. Okay, so as you know that in every person there are two alleles, one from the mother and one from the father. So if the person has PIM from father and PIM from the mother, and I already said that PIM, whenever there is PIM, there will be 50% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. So 50% from this and 50% from this, and the person have 100% normal level normal alpha 1 antitrypsin in the blood. If the person have PIM allele from the father or mother and PIZ from the mother, PIM there will be 50% and PIZ there encodes for only 10%. Whenever there is PIZ allele, there is only 10% normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. So the person have 60% normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. So homozygous PIMM encodes for 100%, present in 90% of population. PIZ heterozygotes, this person is at risk of developing emphysema if it is also predisposed to other risk factors. And then there is another genotype, PIZ from father and PIZ from mother. So there is 10% normal and 10% normal. So the person have only 10 to 20% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin in its serum. Okay, so when person have PIMM, there will be 100% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. When a person is a heterozygote for the genotype PIMZ, there will be 60% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin, and the person is have homozygous for PIZZ, the person have only 10 to 20% of normal alpha 1 antitrypsin. So I already mentioned that PIZ polypeptide encodes for misfolded or mutated alpha 1 antitrypsin. Normally what happens that the liver hepatocytes synthesize alpha 1 antitrypsin in the endoplasmic reticulum, which is after processing is transported into the blood and it performs its function. But when there is PIZ polypeptide and it encodes for mutated and misfolded protein, these misfolded proteins cannot come out of this endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, misfolded protein began to aggregate within the endoplasmic reticulum and leading to endoplasmic reticulum stress. And we know that endoplasmic reticulum stress leads to the damage to the cells, causing the damage to the cell, and leads to the death of the cell. And which mechanism is involved in this case is apoptosis. That will be discussed in some other lecture, how endoplasmic stress leads to the apoptosis. There is production of chaperones, and it is a broad mechanism that we will discuss in some other lecture of apoptosis, because the cell due to endoplasmic stress is damaged and followed by its death by the mechanism of apoptosis. So we have discussed the pathogenesis of alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Now we will continue our lecture with the morphology of alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So in liver, we will found the globular cytoplasmic inclusions that are formed due to aggregation of misfolded proteins. In the hepatocytes, we will found the globular cytoplasmic inclusions. We will perform the liver biopsy and then we observe it under the microscope and then we stain it with the PAS dye, periodic acid shift, that will stain these cytoplasmic inclusion as blue. Okay. Now, in glycogen storage diseases, there is accumulation of glycogen which also stained blue with this dye. So, how to differentiate between these cytoplasmic inclusions which are formed in this disease or whether they are glycogen? So, we add diastase. Diastase will digest the glycogen. It will digest the glycogen. However, the cytoplasmic inclusions that are formed due to mutated alpha-1 antitrypsin are resistant to this diastase. Will remain blue. Okay, so this is the morphological appearance in case of liver. What we will found in the lungs? In the lungs, as I already mentioned, that elastin activity will continue and it will destroy the elastin present in the alveolar wall, leads to destruction of the alveolar wall and a large alveolar space are formed. Okay, as the alveolar wall is destroyed, the space of the acinus is increased because the wall are destroyed. Mild fibrosis may also be present and the alveoli are separated from each other by thin septa. Very thin septa are separating them. And the arterioles are also diminished. Okay, large alveolar sacs, their large acinus are formed due to destruction of the wall of alveoli. And in liver, there are cytoplasmic inclusions. So this is the morphological appearance. Large sacs of acinus separated by very thin septa. So this is the morphology. Now we will see the clinical features. In case of lungs and in case of liver. As I already mentioned, if there is only deficiency of alpha-1 antitrypsin, it will only affect the lungs. But if they are mutated and abnormal or misfolded alpha-1 antitrypsin, it will also affect the liver. So what are the findings in the lungs? As I already mentioned that it leads to emphysema. So we will found the clinical features that are associated with emphysema like dyspnea, coughing, pink puffers, blue bloater due to cyanosis, cor pulmonale, and barrel-shaped chest due to increase in the anterior posterior diameter of the chest. And in liver, in case of neonates, we will found the hepatocellular damage leading to hepatitis, which leads to cholestasis. Exact mechanism is not known, but it is said that when the hepatocytes are damaged, just imagine this is the bile duct and this is the hepatocyte. When there is hepatocellular injury, as in inflammation, the cell will swell up. When this cell swell up, it will compress the bile canaliculi or bile ductus. So bile cannot pass through this and it start seeping into the blood, so leading to cholestasis. In adults, the findings are hepatitis, and when there is hepatitis, there is hepatocellular damage and death of the hepatocytes, and they release various type of chemicals that activate the stellate cells that lay down the connective tissue and leading to cirrhosis. And there is also increased risk of hepatocellular carcinoma. So these are the clinical features, yeah, clinical findings in case of liver due to alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. The concept behind every finding is given, yeah, will be taught in another lecture on emphysema. Now, how to diagnose this disease? We will perform the X-ray chest, pulmonary function test, serum level of alpha 1 antitrypsin, spirometry, and liver biopsy. As I already mentioned that we perform liver biopsy and observe the specimen under the microscope with PAS staining, which show cytoplasmic inclusions. So this is the diagnosis, how to diagnose. Now how to treat the patient. Emphysema due to alpha 1 antitrypsin is dominated or increased by when a patient is smoking. So there should be cessation of smoking, as it increases the risk of emphysema. Smoking increases the risk of COPD, and emphysema is one of disease involving COPD. So there should be cessation of smoking, infusions of alpha 1 antitrypsin, and last one is the definitive treatment, that is liver transplantation. So this concludes our lecture on alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. Hope you will find this lecture helpful. Kindly subscribe to my channel and like the video, and also push the bell icon so that you will be notified when my lecture is uploaded. Jazakallah.